Good morning. It is 10:09 a.m. on Saturday, October 19th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I started this recording without taking even a moment to decide what I'm going to talk about today. I am still, of course, doing Extra Life. You can check out that link for more information about that. It's a good cause. Please check it out. I was considering going to a movie last night, but in particular, I think I was drawn to try to see Parasite, which is a new movie from a Korean filmmaker who's made a lot of really good movies. And other than what's in the trailer, which is, it shows like a lower class family trying to sort of fraudulently make their way into association with an upper class family by working for them. But the trailer and everything I've heard about the movie suggests there's a lot more going on and that it's a really great movie, so I'm curious. But I didn't end up going to see it, mostly because I was still drawn to Outer Wilds, which is a video game I've talked about here before. But I knew I was close to the end, and I got there last night, and I finished it, and it's a lovely game. I will say, as I've said a couple of times before talking about it, that there are a few points where I struggled a little bit. You know, I got to some sort of a plateau with the puzzle of it, and you know, there were a couple of things that I thought might be the solution, but they were hard to do. So I had a frustrating couple of repeated cycles where I'm trying to do this difficult thing, not knowing if it's actually the answer or not, and then it turns out to not be, and so then I feel like I wasted my time. And that happened occasionally, but boy, when some piece would click and I would say, "Oh, I see how to do it," it was just great stuff. I am pretty sure that at least one piece of it I was consistently doing in a way that's probably harder than the actual way you're supposed to do it, and I just didn't ever figure out what the other way to do it was. I kind of had a make it complicated way when there's probably a simpler way, but whatever. I ended up not actually looking up any tips except for one point where I decided I was skimming some guides just very lightly, and just the very brief phrase unlocked something in my head. So I didn't quite actually look up the solution to the problem I was having, but I did get a hint. And you know, I'm okay with that, because I was definitely on the verge of feeling a little frustrated at that point, and so life's too short to let yourself get too worked up about a video game. Video game. I don't know why I said it like that. I've got some stuff ahead of me this weekend. I managed to get wrangled into having to do some work, like day job work, this weekend. I mean, I could have said no, but I didn't say no, and so now I have to work. That's how these things go sometimes. But I have to do that. But I've got some other things, on the schedule. Tomorrow evening I will be, we'll be recording this week's Talking About Survivor. And I've got some other, games planning to play other than just doing the work. But otherwise, I think probably my whatever other time is free, I'm going to be spending continuing to familiarize myself with the adventure we're going to be running for Extra Life, which is the Orrery of the Wanderer adventure from the Acquisitions Incorporated source book. Got a lot of fun stuff in there, but I was just basically going through it, making a spreadsheet of each actual encounter and saying, okay, which of these are main plot and really can't be skipped without significant changes to the story, and which encounters are really just flavor that fleshes out the world that doesn't really contribute to the main story at all. And the big reason for that, of course, is that I would like over the course of the weekend to be able to complete the adventure. And if we're running behind schedule, I want to know which ones are okay to, which ones would be easiest to skip. And that way I can also kind of look through and say, okay, well, I like this encounter, this sequence, but I think I'm going to reduce the number of enemies here, or that sort of thing. And you can make some of those decisions on game day, so to speak, but that way, I have a little bit of a game plan. I have practiced. When you talk about calling an audible, you still have to arrange in advance what the audible is and what it means. Like, what is the code for it, and what is it that you change? So, going to be doing some more of that, and it's fun. It's a good adventure. I'm excited to run it. So, I'm going to leave it there for right now, and of course tomorrow I will be continuing my rewatch of Cowboy Bebop with Session 6, Sympathy for the Devil. So in the meantime, I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.